Oh, let's talk about why your virtual presentations don't bring in clients. Now, this is a very, 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 very important video. Probably one of the most important videos that you're probably going to watch this year. I'll say this year, maybe ever. I don't know. Now, virtual presentations are going to be a very, very important shift for the future. Okay, because most people inside of our industry have not fully adjusted to it. And that is the golden opportunity because most people are used to doing in-person seminars or in-person speeches. And even though, in 2020, we were not necessarily able to meet people in person, a lot of people didn't make that switch. So a lot of people in our industry struggled. Now, maybe you have made the switch and you've done some virtual presentations or some webinars or things like that, but you haven't been able to maybe get clients from it. It just seems like you'll get people to register, but at the end of the day, maybe you'll get a couple appointments, but they're not really qualified, or they don't really want to get started today, or they want to push it off into the future, or you might be getting no one to even, end up picking up the phone. Now, there's a couple reasons inside of that, inside of your presentation. I'm just going to assume that you have your marketing process down to where you know how to make sure that people who view the presentation are actually qualified. If you don't, that's an extremely big issue in itself, and that could be a major red flag or major reason why, at the end of the day, you're either not getting any calls or the calls are just not qualified or ready to go today. Now, let's just assume that you have that down. Now, inside of your presentation specifically, you need to be able to talk about the desired future and the current situation that your ideal prospect is in. See, the thing that most people struggle with is inside of their messaging and their branding, and they don't speak to one person very clearly. And maybe they try and talk in a million different maybe different points. Maybe they'll talk about someone who's a pre-retiree, which if you're saying that word pre-retiree, that might not be specific enough in the first place. But maybe you're talking to someone who's in their 50s. Maybe you're another slide talking to people in their 40s. Another slide talking to people in their 30s. Maybe you're talking in one slide to someone who has, $1 million in investable assets, but another slide you're talking about the current situation of someone who is like struggling and doesn't even know how to put two pennies together. If you're all over the place, you don't really have any focus, and you're speaking to the wrong person, you're not going to be able to pull people all the way through and actually get them on the phone. I oftentimes call this principle pulling, also known as congruence. We're speaking to one person, one or two ideal prospects at max, two at max. And if it's a second one, it needs to be pretty related to the first one so you don't lose the first one. And we pull them speaking to their current situation, speaking about all the different things they're going through, all the different options they have available, all these different things that are overwhelming, all these different pitfalls that most people face in their current situation. And then we talk, how can we help them get to their desired outcome or their desired goals? How can we do it either in the best time or in the most consistent way possible? Once you learn how to do that consistently, you start pulling people who are first qualified because they first had to enter in being qualified, and then motivate them throughout the presentation. Now when they get on the phone, they're not going to say, hey, why don't we set up another call? They're not going to say, hey, maybe 6 months from now. They're not going to say, let me get back to you. They're not going to say, let my assistant get back to you. They're going to be like, okay, how can we get started? How can we move forward now? And once you know how to do that consistently, now you can really scale as far as you want. That's one main reason why a lot of my clients don't have to wonder where their next either lead or their next client's going to come from. They know exactly where it is. For me, it's only about three things that we like to do, three places. The virtual presentation is one of the main ones, but there's a couple different places you can go. You can do active lead flow, you can do more passive lead flow, you can do virtual presentations. I call that as more of like a passive flow of lead and flow of clients. But once you really understand how to do that, and I can't break it down inside this video because if I make it too long, then LinkedIn and Facebook start reducing, how many people see it because they want to make it more where it's like mindless content that people consume. So if you want to learn exactly what you need to do in order to start filling up your financial planning practice, come and join us inside this community that I created. So I created this community to give you 4 things: resources, tips, trainings, and tools to show you step by step what you need to do to start attracting a consistent flow of clients to your financial planning practice. Now, if you've been struggling, it's probably one of the best places for you to go, because inside, it's one of the only places where someone is taking you behind the scenes and showing you exactly how this new kind of age of financial planning client attraction is going to be coming and going to be going. We already started touching on it in 2020, but it's not going away. This is the new wave. So if you're in the past and you don't know exactly how to start attracting clients utilizing the internet, how to go and identify people who are qualified, how to see who's motivated to go with you today, how to get them on the phone and really have them want to make a decision within 1, maybe 2 at max phone calls and phone discussions, this community is probably the best place for you. It's probably the place for you right now. So if that's you, go on ahead and click on the link either above or below the video. We will see you inside. Now, hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. Join the community right now. We'll see you in the next video and talk to you later. And take it easy.